I'm going to step off the limb. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The immortal words of Neil Armstrong as he landed and walked on the moon on that glorious day back in 1969. And while we prepare to celebrate the 50th anniversary of lunar orbits and landings, there's a push to move humanity even further, as far away as Mars, and maybe even further than that. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the components that make space travel possible are made right here in Western Washington. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with the CEO of one local group that's working to make space travel more possible and more efficient for the future.
Primarily, we're doing that by developing what we believe are the key technologies that will help stitch together a functional economy in space. You know, an economy needs to be able to get resources and transform those resources into things of value.
Dr. Robert Hoyt is the CEO and co-founders of Tethers Unlimited, based in Bothell. Among other terrestrial technology, this Western Washington innovative organization also designs and builds parts for space vehicles, ranging from small satellites to the International Space Station.
So our big new project is called Fab Lab, and that is working to put together an end-to-end manufacturing capability for the space station and long-duration manned missions to the Moon and Mars, so that the astronauts won't have to carry with them every single replacement part they'd ever possibly need.
Tethers Unlimited is one of numerous Washington state companies that are contracted with NASA and other organizations to build parts and vehicles for all kinds of space travel and exploration. Our state has become so prominent in the commercial space industry that an article in Forbes magazine in 2017 called us the, quote, Silicon Valley of Space. Dr. Hoyt agrees with that sentiment.
I think it's definitely one of the most important hubs in the United States, and I think it's the one that over the long term will have the biggest impact. There are other areas like the Bay Area. There's a lot of venture capital investing in space startups there, and some of the areas like Huntsville in Alabama and Houston, where there are big NASA facilities. There are a lot of small and growing companies that support NASA.
Annually, the commercial space industry generates $65 million in state taxes and creates an additional $1.76 billion in economic activities in Washington communities. Meanwhile, at Tethers Unlimited, innovation and a mixture of imagination combine to build devices and vehicles that will eventually be part of everyday life in outer space.
We tend to focus on developing unconventional technologies and unconventional architectures that start out as being kind of science fiction-y, but we're really good at putting some technical meat behind them and figuring out how to make them feasible and moving them down the line to becoming products that we can sell.
The future for the commercial space industry here in Western Washington looks to be a prosperous one, and Tethers Unlimited will continue to look for and design ways for spacefaring for an interstellar economy.
Over the next 10 years, we hope to combine those together to build spacecraft and other systems that can start to build in space.
If you want a little more local connections about our space program, you can tune in to a special edition of Northwest Now that airs Friday night at 7:30 called Earthrise. That'll do it for this edition of Northwest Now Digital First. I'm Chris Anderson. Thanks for watching.